Hi, I'm Kevin. Nice to see you again. So yesterday I was perusing Instagram and I noticed that a lot of people commented that they cannot find bread at their local supermarket. And it's not a surprise, we're all under quarantine now. People are hoarding food, including bread. Anyway, I feel it is my patriotic duty as a global citizen to show you how to make your own hamburger buns. And I made a batch yesterday and boy are they delicious. Soft and yeasty, really good. So let me adjust the camera and we'll start the recipe. All right, in the bowl of a standing mixer, or in any large bowl if you're planning to knead the dough entirely by hand, add 1 cup of very warm water, about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Then add 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. That's the equivalent of one of those little packets of active dry yeast. Just sprinkle that over the top of the water. Here's 2, here's 1/4. So that was 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And we're going to whisk that very quickly. Yeah, this is a very easy dough to make. Then add 1 large egg at room temperature. And whisk that in. Then add, how much is this? 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm using unsalted butter, but if you only have salted butter, go ahead and use it. Then add 2 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar and 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Bread without salt just has no flavor. Okay, then we need to add flour. And what I have here is 1 pound of flour, or the equivalent of 3 1/2 cups of flour. And I am using regular all-purpose flour. If you have bread flour in your pantry, by all means use it. I'm going to add the flour just a little at a time and stir it in with a green spoon. I'll add about half the flour at first. And to help develop the gluten, you want to stir in just one direction. Okay, that's pretty much mixed in. Then add the rest of the flour and stir, again in the same direction. Okay, and when you can stir no more, scrape off, let me grab a knife, spoon, scrape off the dough that's sticking to the mixing spoon. Don't want to waste any of that. And then we're going to hook it up to the stand mixer. Here we go. And then let me fix the camera so you can see. I think you're okay there. And I'm going to knead this by machine at a fairly low speed. This is number, what is this? I think number 2 on my stand mixer. I'm going to knead this for about 2 minutes, and then I'll turn off the machine, let the dough rest for 2 minutes, and then I'll continue kneading for another 7 minutes. So we'll be back. Alright, the dough is now slapping the sides of the bowl. I did turn this up a little to the next highest setting, just for a moment. I think we are good to go. Well, I know we are good to go because I've made these hamburger buns about 1 million times before. And we want to, let's see, slip this off of the dough hook. It comes off fairly cleanly. And then let me grab my board over here and fix it so you can see. I'm going to scrape the dough out of the bowl and onto this board. There you go. I can tell that the gluten has developed very well because the dough is stretchy. Then form the dough into a ball. Yeah, the dough is sticky, but it's not really sticking to my hands, and that's what you want. Sticky, but not hand sticky. It's a soft dough. And I'm forming it into a ball over here by pulling the sides under. And then I have another bowl that I have greased with some non-stick vegetable spray. And I'm going to throw the dough in. And then turn it, flip the dough so that both sides are greased. And then cover it with a sheet of plastic wrap. And then this goes into a warm place, such as a proofing oven or a drugstore heating pad, or just anywhere in your kitchen that is warmish and draft-free, until the dough doubles in volume. And that's going to take 1 hour to 90 minutes. So we'll come back. I wanted to mention that in close-ups on this video, you will probably see what looks like a cut on my knuckle. It's not a cut, it's a scratch. Thank you, Tiger the cat. Anyway, I put hydrogen peroxide on it and my hands are very, very clean. Okay, the dough has definitely doubled in volume. So for this next step, line a baking sheet with parchment paper. And then, with slightly damp fingers, punch down the dough and scrape it onto your work surface. And you'll notice I'm not using any flour on this. There's really no need to. And we're going to pat this out into a rough rectangle. Let me see if I can move you a little closer here. There we go. And I need my bench scraper. Or a knife if you don't have a bench scraper. And then we have to cut this dough into 8 equal pieces. So you want to make your rectangle fairly even. I'm going to cut it in half. 1/2 over here. And then I'm going to cut this half into 4 pieces. So go right down the middle. And here we go. Yeah, my pieces may not be all that even. If you want perfectly even pieces, you have to do them on a scale. Then we have to form these into rolls. So you take the dough and you fold it over on itself and then tuck the corners underneath like this and pinch as you go along. And then, get this out of the way, roll. Let's see, to do this where you can see, put your palm over the roll and spin it around like this. And that's one of the reasons you don't want any flour on your work surface. If I had flour here, there would be no friction for the dough to form a perfect little sphere. And then this goes on the baking sheet. I'll do a couple more for you. Okay, so I'm taking this one strip of dough and forming it into a ball, just pulling the sides over, bringing the corners underneath, and pinching. You'll get very good at this after you've done the rolls a few times. This is the same method we used when we made Japanese milk bread rolls. You know, this roll looks a little small, so I'm going to steal some dough from this other strip and then form it into a roll, or a ball rather. See, you want to have a very smooth top. Well, maybe I'll do all of these for you. And I've got to cut this one up. Bring this over here. Try to make a better looking rectangle this time. That's fairly good. Yeah, when this coronavirus crisis is finally over, I suspect that a whole lot of people will have become very proficient cooks because all the restaurants are closed and we are all cooking at home these days. So I hope these videos are helpful to you. In just a moment, I'll show you how I arrange them on the baking sheet. Last one. Here we go. Now, let's look at these. So I've arranged them, two on top, and then one slightly below, and then two more, and one, and two. Let me move this one over here a little bit. And then we have to let these rise until they've doubled in volume. And this will take about a half hour, so I'll be, actually before we do that, we have to cover them with plastic wrap. Hold on. I don't think I cut enough plastic wrap. Let me get another sheet. Okay, and again, in a warm or draft-free place, let these double in volume. We'll be back. Oh, one more note. About 15 minutes before the rolls have finished rising. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, here we are. The Hamburger buns have fully doubled in volume. So now, gently release the plastic wrap because you don't want to tear the tops of the rolls. Make sure I'm on record, yes. And then, if you'd like to glaze the rolls, and you really should do that, you want to beat 1 egg with 1 teaspoon of water. And this egg is going to help the rolls to brown beautifully in the oven. We just want to brush this on. Let me fix the camera so you can see what I am doing. There we go. That's that. Get a little closer. There we go. Yeah, just paint the egg wash onto the rolls. Afterwards, I'm going to add sesame seeds. Not that you have to. In the comments field below, let me know if there are other recipes you'd like me to make for you, or to film for you, to make and film. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow I'll make brioche. It's a very rich egg bread. And by the way, these rolls are better than anything you could possibly buy from the supermarket. Again, they're soft and yeasty. I really love them. Okay, the rolls are painted. Time for a sprinkling of sesame seeds. You could even use poppy seeds if you'd like. Use all of these. Okay. And then, let me fix this again so I can talk with you. Put these in the preheated 375 degree oven. I'm having trouble talking. My oven's ready. 375 degree Fahrenheit oven for 15 to 17 minutes. They'll get nice and brown, and I'll come back when mine are ready. All right, here are the buns fresh out of the oven. They smell really good. Yeasty, just terrific. Putting them on a wire rack, and I'm going to let them cool. Actually, to help them cool a little faster, I'm going to pull them apart. Look at that. Wow. Ooh. Okay, going to let these cool, and then we'll have a taste. Okay, so after these are cool enough to handle, cut them in half. I use a serrated knife. And then, if you're not going to use them right away, put them in a bag and freeze them. And of course, I have to have a little taste. Okay, I'm still eating this. Again, these are better than anything you could buy in a bag at the supermarket. They're also really easy to make, and they are certainly inexpensive to make. So I hope you'll give them a try. And in the comments filled below, let me know what you're baking these days. Let me know how you're getting through this quarantine period. Just talk to me, all right? And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.